guys, it's me Avidivedi and you are watching Extended Reality Developers of India. This is episode 20. So David.
Hi, Avi, how are you? Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so David, welcome on the show, and we are really curious to have you here. And we saw a lot of details about your product, but before going to that, let me just tell something about you. So David also hosted a lot of podcasts as well, right? So David did a podcast with a lot of celebrity. He's very experienced with the podcast, so I'm pretty nervous doing this with him. And it's an honor to have you on the show.
Thanks. You know, I used to be able to get all of, because, I used to host a celebrity interview podcast, and I used to say, hey, do you want to, anytime I met somebody that I really wanted to like be friends with, that was a celebrity, I would say, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? But since holograms sort of took over my life, it went from, hey, do you want to be on my podcast to, hey, do you want me to turn you into a hologram? And so it's quite, I've stepped it up. I've gotten, the trajectory, the status of the celebrity has gotten much bigger over the years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
David, let's start by your work. You did so many podcasts, and now you switched it completely to something really technical, which I can see. You became an inventor and released PORTL. So how does the journey go?
Well, it did start with podcasts. I used to do these celebrity podcasts. I was doing television and radio and podcast production. I was working for an eccentric billionaire at the time when I saw the Tupac Hologram, right? And the Tupac, it was a digital resurrection concert at the Coachella Music Festival in 2012. And I said, oh my God, this is amazing. Is Tupac going to go on tour as a hologram, or what's going to happen? And but you know what? He never did. And so I said to my eccentric billionaire boss, what if we bought the patents and then just put me in charge of it and let me start like exploiting the technology. Let me start trying to maybe we could bring other dead people back. And so we did. We started a company in 2013. And for 6 years, I ran that company, and we were bringing all these dead people back as holograms to posthumously perform. I would beam people from one place to another. I beamed some infamous people like Julian Assange. I beamed him out of the Ecuadorian Embassy in London so he could speak here in the United States. And celebrities like Jimmy Kimmel, I beamed him to the Country Music Awards. And Jack Black, I sent from LA to Madrid, and over the years I just figured that there must be a better way than these enormous, elaborate, expensive hologram effect projection machines. So that's why I developed PORTL. So I left the other company, started PORTL, and now I'm in business. I've created the world's first and only so far life-size single passenger holoportation machine.
Yeah. So before going into details of this PORTL, let's discuss what is the hologram exactly. So what do you think about the holograms, what it is?
Sure. Yeah. We use the word hologram very loosely. I don't think any one of us has actually even seen a hologram, a real hologram in real life.
Right.
We've seen Star Wars, right? And we see Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we think that's a hologram. Or we've seen the Tupac hologram. It's not. Star Wars is a movie, and that was not real. Tupac, the hologram of Tupac, was really just a digital image that was using a series of reflections and mirrors and proprietary pieces of plastic and stuff like that. That was a technique called Pepper's Ghost. You see that a lot in Disneyland and Universal Studios and theme parks and things like that. There's other hologram technologies out there, but really it's all just illusions. They're magic tricks. It's fake. It's I say hologram, but really I really ought to be saying hologram-like or holographic effects, because really what we're producing isn't a hologram, which is really, a hologram would be the convergence of light all from different angles, producing what appears to be a volumetric solid image in front of you that doesn't really exist in real life. What we create are two-dimensional images that when projected into an open space, it creates the illusion of 3 dimensions. So it's we're all just magicians and fakers, but it's an effect that we've developed over years that make the audience believe that they're seeing something that's not really there.
Okay, so you said that it's nothing but just an optical illusion of 3D projection, which is in front of someone. Okay, and it makes you think that the person which you are looking at, it's actually there in the box. So let me just show everyone the trailer of Hologram, and this is I think the show reel, right? This is the show reel from Comic-Con 2019. Is it true?
All right, yeah, I have one of those. So let's see if that's what you have.
Yeah. So I'm right now playing the Comic-Con 2019 show reel, and Hologram was this portal was there. So you can see it's a kind of box, but you see that people are actually inside that, and it's look truly 3D, and you see like it looks like something is actually in the box. But when I have seen a lot of holograms by myself, I have worked on some holograms as well. So holographic technology is not very new, but when I saw this, I was like, oh man, this is really detailed, and this actually looks 3-dimensional. Because how did you manage to do that? It's really amazing.
Yeah, well, over years of being in production, whether it's radio, television, podcasts, and then hologram, you figure out certain tricks. The first podcast I did was terrible.
Wow.
I said, I didn't know what questions to ask. I was not sure of myself. But then by the 250th episode, I was confident. I knew the questions. I knew exactly how to follow up. And same thing with production. You figure things out over time. You figure out like a shadow and a reflection when beamed into our machine create more of a 3-dimensional image than if I just beamed in a regular person without all shadow and reflection. So like the box that you're looking at is a box. It's real. Like it is a real 3-dimensional box, and that's a real light source inside. It is a museum quality machine where you can physically put stuff inside, but the image itself with the shadow and the reflection, it's just, and then we've got a patent on that. So we can actually, it's a proprietary production process where we could beam a live shadow and reflection along with a person into a holographic device or a hologram-like device. So it's just one of those things that, you do something enough, you figure it out, and then something will come along that will probably blow this away at some point, and maybe hopefully I'm the one that comes up with it, but if not, I love that the industry is pushing forward. It's exciting to see.
Okay, so yeah, it's amazing. It looks totally sci-fi. So where you think it's practically applicable? Because I can see a lot of places, but I think you have figured out much more. So where do you think it's practically applicable, and what are some other practical applications? One is for sure the communication, but where do you see it?
Sure. Well, I mean, for the live stuff, live holoportation, right now, coronavirus, travel bans, nobody can be anywhere. Nobody can leave their house right now. I don't know about where you are, but things are getting shut down everywhere. I mean, Italy is under is in lockdown. France and Spain, I mean, they've closed off their borders. It's wild. So what I can do is I can beam anybody from anywhere to anywhere, politicians, inspirational speakers, religious leaders, educators. There are a lot of people that are missing school right now. There are a lot of educators that can't be in other countries where they're expected to be, doctors, medicine, so I can beam anybody from anywhere to anywhere, real time, and then the machine that we're building now has an audience-facing camera, so that when somebody beams into it, they can see the audience, and then they have the ability to hear and interact with them in real time. It's wild. But for more of the novelty, when coronavirus is over, I think we'll shift back to the original purpose. Museum installations, movie theater lobbies, airport terminals for information, hologram directories. In movie theater lobbies, maybe we'll replace all those cardboard standees of the celebrities that you take selfies with. We'll replace them with the actual actor in character, where maybe Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise is like, hey, why don't you come over here and take a picture with me, like real,
Yeah.
So and that's what those are the orders that we're getting right now, and we do a lot of motion capture, so like at Comic-Con and at a lot of conventions and trade shows, people want to beam in to the machine either as a live person or as a cartoon or as an animal. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different applications, and I'm sure the way that it's going to get used the most in the future is probably a way that I haven't even thought of yet. So it's a lot of times someone will come and see a hologram demonstration that I'll give in North Hollywood, where my shop is, and they'll say, what if we used it like this? And I'll say, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. That's amazing. Right. That's like, I'll have like a director in, or an event producer, and they'll say, can we do this? Yes, we could totally do that. Let's try that. That's great.
Okay, yeah. So definitely there are a lot of billions of applications that could be found out from this, but the one I love the most is bringing back the dead people, the people who are not with us right now. When you bring them back, it adds on some more kind of emotions. Imagine if Michael Jackson might have recorded his hologram, and you see them here. So yeah, it's definitely something which we want to preserve, and for that, this technology is like fire. This is seriously something else. So
right. Yeah, we with that being said, I agree. I think the hologram industry sort of took off when all of these announcements of late icons were brought back to perform, and I've done it. I've done many of them, and we've performed in different countries and bringing the iconic legend back. But the thing that is, I think I'm going to try to pivot towards, because a lot of fans are not okay with it. A lot of fans don't want to see these people back because it's not really them.
Right.
I'm going to give you. It's pretty much almost always a body double or an actor and a recreated face, CGI, and then it's synced, with authentic music, authentic audio. But the fans don't want to see that, So, many of them do. Most of them do, but some don't. So what we're starting to do is we are filming the artist while they're still alive and well enough to perform the music that they want to perform the way they want to perform it. So that 20 years from now, 50 years from now, when they die, or maybe when they just want to stop touring, we can then take the hologram that they've already endorsed while they're alive, performing the songs the way they want to perform them, and then we put it on a hard drive, put it away, forget about it, and then when the time comes, dust off the cobwebs on the hard drive, and then put that with whatever technology is popular at the time, and then send their hologram on tour around the world. So the estate could keep making money, and then generations of future fans could then become inspired by their music.
So something about the development of this particular product. So what was your ideal team size to develop something like this, which is so futuristic, and how was the journey? I mean, it's not the first product. It is PORTL 2.0. So there must be a PORTL 2.1 now. So what was your experience with that throughout the journey of their development of such product?
I'm pretty much on PORTL 7.0 by now. It's the first one I did. It came out. It was awful. It was clear all the way through. I didn't want to have a back to it. I wanted to see straight through it. I think everybody just wants to see the background. Everybody wants to see straight through to the other side, but I couldn't make the image bright enough.
Okay.
It was very transparent. Like you could see them sort of, but then you see the tree through them, and it just didn't look real. And I wanted them to look real. I wanted them to look like they're really in that box, or in that space. So I went through a few versions of that. I spent crazy money trying to figure that out. Couldn't figure it out. So then I started putting a back on it, and that's when it started becoming more solid. So then I started adding more light, and they got brighter and brighter. And then I went from an HD image to a 4K image, and then I added more. I put light on the top. I put light on the back, and then there's a million different designs that I've done. But yeah, this has been years in the making, so it has really evolved. And then eventually, we'll get to the point where you can just kind of hit that button on your remote, and then the hologram will materialize right in front of you. I hope. I think that'd be so cool. Yeah.
So, talking about the future of this product. So, what you think you're gonna do in future? Because you already have such a sci-fi technology. What you gonna do next? Remove the box?
Yeah, remove the box.
Yeah.
Make different sizes. We've been asked to do like tabletop versions, or we've been asked to do different shapes. They don't want a box. They want it to be a cylinder. They want it to be some. So yeah, we're working on different things, and we're really a production company and a marketing company, and we just happen to have a device where we could produce content that goes in it. Just because you put a PORTL hologram machine somewhere doesn't mean that all of a sudden there's all this content. The end user, the customer, has to create content too, so we work with them on content. So what I think will really evolve more than anything else is the productions. I think they're going to get more and more elaborate. Right now it's a guy in a box, but maybe 6 months from now, a year from now, maybe the films themselves will get so much more elaborate with special effects. I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding out.
Amazing. So we come to a part which is the most fun part of my podcast. So this is called Avi's Challenge, and I'm going to give you a challenge. So the challenge is a Bollywood dialogue. I'm going to make you practice that, and then you have to say it. Okay. So here is the dialogue. Keep listening. Okay. सारा शहर मुझे लॉइन के नाम से जानता है. So सारा शहर means the whole city. मुझे लॉइन के नाम से means knows me as a loin के नाम से जानता है.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. Look, I think that's wonderful. And you want me to repeat that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we
I'm going to repeat it one more time. So listen very carefully. सारा शहर मुझे लॉइन के नाम से जानता है. सारा शहर मुझे लॉइन के नाम से जानता है.
लॉइन
के नाम से जानता है. Right. सारा शहर मुझे लॉइन के नाम से जानता है. Yes, you did it.
No, I was terrible. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry. I feel terrible.
You did really well. It is a difficult dialogue.
I barely speak English properly. So the fact that I even attempted that, I'm sweating now. My goodness. So what did I say? What does that mean again? It's beautiful. What does it mean?
The whole city knows me as a loin. It means, because in India we always relate ourselves to some kind of animal. Like if you are fast enough, you say you are a horse, faster than a horse, something like that. So the whole city knows me as a loin. Okay.
I love it. Okay.
So it's a Bollywood movie dialogue, and it means the whole city knows me as a loin. सारा शहर मुझे loin के नाम से जानता है.
That's great. So you like Bollywood?
Yeah, I love Bollywood.
Do you besides me and other people from the world of technology, do you interview like Bollywood stars, or who else do you interview on your show? Do you?
So I mostly interview the people who are not from entertainment industry already.
Right.
People who mostly are in XR, which means extended reality, and technology. So I interviewed a lot of people from AI community, XR community, which is virtual reality, and also you are from a similar 3D graphics and a hologram technology, which is similar. Yeah. Okay. So
well, that's great. Bollywood is amazing. I've seen a few Bollywood movies. It's the costumes, the music, the performances. It's really incredible.
One more question, which was not added, but one more question. when you are going to bring back your podcast again.
Yeah, so I've thought about it many times. My former podcast co-host, he's done other podcasts since then. I've been asked to bring it back. I will not bring back my old podcast just because there's a million of them like it now. Like when I started, it was 10, 12 years ago, and I would have like a,
you were
a
the
celebrity
only guy, and yeah, you had the monopoly, and everybody used to come to you.
Right. But now everybody does that, especially where I live, 10 miles north of Hollywood, California.
Right.
So if I brought one back, maybe hologram themed, maybe I talked to people that were sort of like the behind the scenes people behind the Tupac hologram, or maybe talk to some of the people that I turned into holograms, like Jack Black or Jimmy Kimmel, and and then maybe talk about their experiences with being turned into a hologram, and then beaming to somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. I'm having more fun being asked questions than to ask the questions these days. But that's a great question. I'd love to do it. It was one of my favorite things. That's how I actually met my wife. I met her on my podcast.
Amazing.
So
she was your guest. Is it?
She was a guest. She won a reality show that I used to watch all the time, and I said I would love to find out like what has happened to this woman who was on this reality show that I used to. She won the whole show.
That's an amazing story.
So I found her like you found me, like on LinkedIn. I found her on Facebook. It was so many years ago, and she came over, and now we've got 2 children together. Podcast.
Amazing. That's romantic.
Yeah,
it could be converted into a movie. Yeah.
I think so. I don't know what I would call it. When I don't know, we could make a podcast movie about it.
I think you should produce a movie. You already have the script ready.
That's right, and I've already got the actors. I got the 2 kids and the wife. So.
Amazing. So, David, lastly, do you have learned a lot from your experiences from this building from this technology, which is PORTL. So what you want to share with the inventors of today, and is there any message would you like to share with them?
Sure. It is my message is just be passionate, follow your passions, go with trends. Right. I saw that there was a trend happening. If you have an idea that you just can't get it out, if you can't just shake it out of your head, maybe there's something to that. And pursue it. It's always good to swing and miss and strike out instead of just not even trying it at all. So that's what I did with podcasts. That's what I've done with my other work, and that's what I'm doing with Hologram. I don't know how easy it is for you to find guests, but I would have to ask 100 people to be a guest on my podcast before one said yes. Right. Same thing with, you can't be afraid of rejection. It's like anything else. It's like when I was in high school and I was asking girls out to go to the prom. 100 of them said no before one of them said yes. And so same thing goes with, with ideas. 99 ideas will turn to be nothing before one turns into something. So just be persistent, be passionate, and follow through.
Yeah, it's a very, very solid advice. Well, thanks for being on the show, and thanks for giving me your time. I know you were very, very busy this day, but yeah, still we are doing this. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.